Rain day. Hi guys. May isa akong cellphone. Hi guys. It's too cold, you know.
We had highly productive conversations and meetings, and we agreed that it was in both countries' interest to pursue the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Since that meeting, we have already seen a number of encouraging measures that few could. Could have imagined only a short
Hello,
time
Kuya
ago.
Roger.
The missiles and rockets are no longer
Ang
flying in
tugno
every
kay diri
direction.
ron. Kay gaulan man.
Nuclear testing has stopped. Some military facilities
Ang
are
pangit
already
ba?
being dismantled.
Tugno kay diri kay
Our
gaulan.
hostages have been released, and as
Hello.
promised, the remains of our fallen heroes are being returned home
Gaulan diri
to
karon.
lay at rest in American soil. I would like to thank Chairman Kim for his courage and for the steps he has taken, though much work remains to be done. The sanctions will stay in place until denuclearization occurs. I also want to thank the many
Okay lang
member
po,
states
Kuya.
who helped us reach this moment, a moment that is actually far greater than people would understand, far greater. But for also their support.
Wala kang pasok. Wala po.
Support that we will all need
Off ko ngayong Sunday.
going forward. Special thanks to President Moon of South Korea
Kumusta naman dyan sa bansa? Sa Qatar ka, Kuya, or Kuwait?
and President Xi of China. In the Middle East, our new approach is also yielding great strides and very historic change. Following my trip to Saudi Arabia last year,
Hello.
the Gulf countries opened a new center to target terrorist financing. They are enforcing new sanctions, working with us to identify and track terrorist networks, and taking more responsibility for fighting terrorism
Wala. Ay, o nga, nakalimot ko.
in their own region.
Wala kaming pasok, Kuya. Ulan dire karon tugnaw pa di
Saudi
kaayo.
Arabia and Qatar have pledged billions of dollars to aid the people of Syria and Yemen. And they are pursuing multiple avenues to ending Yemen's horrible, horrific civil war. Ultimately, it is up to the nations.
The 30 latest live. ICC has no authority. Trump's old speech goes to viral.
For that reason, the United States is working
viral
with
after the 30 arrests.
Cooperation Council. Jordan,
Kumusta community diya? Okay man diri Kuya.
So that Middle
Okay lang. Mga Pilipino diri. Okay naman.
And security across their home region. Thanks to the United States military
Live lang ko kay
and our
Paranay.
partnership with many of your nations.
Live lang. Ingman siya. Mag-live lang daw ko.
That the bloodthirsty killers
Nasa sa
known
Prolan
as
mong
ISIS
gudron.
have been driven out from the territory they once held in Iraq
Hapit na sad ko
and Syria.
magbakasyon pohon. Kaloyan sa Ginoo kuya. Makabakasyon na yun taon.
We will continue to work with friends and allies to deny radical Islamic terrorists any funding, territory, or support, or any means of infiltrating our borders. The ongoing tragedy in Syria is heartbreaking. Our shared goals must be the de-escalation of military conflict, along with a political solution that honors the will of the Syrian people. In this vein, we urge the United Nations-led peace process be reinvigorated. But rest assured, the United States will respond if chemical weapons are
Kano sa ka
deployed
magbakasyon?
by the
Hapit
Assad
na pohon.
regime.
Pohon, hapit na.
I commend the people of Jordan
Makita lagi ta na akong
and
Pilipinas
other
after 9
neighboring
years.
countries for hosting refugees from this very
After
brutal
8 years,
civil
ay.
war. As we see in Jordan, the most compassionate
Kaloyan
policy
pohon, may glawas.
is to place
Secret.
refugees as close to their homes as possible, to
Secret
ease their
kuya,
eventual
secret.
return to be part of the rebuilding process. This approach also stretches finite resources to help far more people, increasing the
Makita na
impact
dito
of
kung
every
Pilipinas.
dollar
Yung
spent.
sinaitsura sa Pilipinas.
Every solution to the humanitarian crisis in Syria must also include a strategy to address the brutal regime that has fueled and financed it. The corrupt.
And it doesn't matter if it's this president or the new president that comes. He will have to comply with these agreements. So let them think we are on the right side. I would like to add, on the pipe for Europe. If Russia and America agree on something, indeed, if the U.S. and Russia agree to cooperate in the field of energy, then the gas pipeline to Europe can be provided, can be insured, and this will be of use because they will then get cheap Russian gas. That's what I meant. Yes, I understood you. Yes, as for the situation on the ground that I mentioned, it is changing very rapidly. Yesterday, during the report, the commander said that Suja would be in our hands tomorrow, and this is what happened. And I would like to thank our soldiers for achieving this objective. And I'm sure that all of the objectives in this incursion area will be achieved, just like all the objectives on all the front lines. So we are now taking over all of these small villages that are surrounding Suja one by one. And depending on the situation on the ground, we will agree on our next steps on how to stop this conflict and also how to achieve acceptable terms for everyone. To continue
Ikaw
this
kuya, kung
conflict,
sa ka muulig
possibly,
Pilipinas.
the negotiations on Ukraine are something that is discussed most of all in Belarus and everywhere else. Will the interests of Belarus be taken into account as the closest neighbor of Ukraine? What are the wishes? Do you mean the wishes of Belarus in the negotiations? I don't quite understand your question, but I can just say in general that the interests of the Republic of Belarus, given our relationships and interests, whether we talk about our partners across the ocean or with our neighbors, all of these interests are always taken into account within the framework of the Union State. We assume that we have a common concept, and our bodies are cooperating very closely. We work in the Eurasian
People successfully lifting countless millions out of poverty and into the middle class. There is Saudi Arabia, where King Salman and the Crown Prince are pursuing bold new reforms. There is Israel, proudly celebrating its 70th anniversary as a thriving democracy in the Holy Land. In Poland, the great people are standing up for their independence, their security, and their sovereignty. Many countries are pursuing their own unique visions, building their own hopeful futures, and chasing their own wonderful dreams of destiny, of legacy, and of a home. The whole world is richer. Humanity is better because of this beautiful constellation of nations
Look ako.
each very special, each very unique, and each shining brightly in its part of the world. In each one, we see awesome promise of a people bound together by a shared past and working toward a common future. As for Americans, we know what kind of future we want for ourselves. We know what kind of a nation America must always be. In America, we believe in the
Agay,
matchless
kalubaton ako.
effort
Babay na kuya, kalubaton
and
ko.
dignity